I've been to your event 2 or 3 times now, and I think it gets better every year, and it grows every year. It's growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I really like that you do, and it's you have, because I've been to a few different competitions now since I've been competing, and you at some stages in the competition, especially for the final, you have up to 20 judges at the same time.
I have 24.
This is incredible.
Well, I think the most look, the investment has to be in the actual act of executing the competition.
Yeah.
Forget the promotion. You know, a lot of promoters spend a lot of money on promoting it, getting people that no. If you build a competition that's consistent, that has, you know, of course we all have problems, right? But you try to minimize those problems, right? And therefore, and the one thing that we have to be clear about, transparency has to be there. Yeah. Always. You understand? So when you're showcasing these judges and you're showcasing the scoring that's done right there, and then the paper goes from here to there, and everyone sees it, there's a sense of, wait a second, this is fair. And then, you know, you keep executing that every year, and you build the confidence of a clientele. They're going to tell other people. I always bet on the integrity of the competition and try to get the best judges possible. And I try to educate them and sit down and have conversations. All the team that I have like a team of 10. And these are my main people. They're there every year. So they kind of like school everyone else when they come in. When a new judge comes in, they kind of get the whole riot act, you know. This is what we expect. This is what we expect from you. Not that we're telling them how to pick people. We're telling them how to behave. You understand? How to behave. It's really important that judges understand that. You can't have conversations with competitors that are about to compete and you're about to judge them. You understand? I don't come from that place. You know, I come from a place that I walk into the ballroom and I'm going to do my job and then I'm going to walk out. And I don't expect to have any conversations with any competitors until after they've danced, after their competition is done. You know, by rule, I tell all my judges, please don't work with any of these people during the competition. I don't want other competitors just to look at them and say, okay, they got an upper hand or anything like that, or even the perception of it doesn't even have to occur, right? But the perception is what we have to look at. So no, I think the growth at Summit has everything to do with that. You know what I mean? The integrity of the judging is what I think. You know, I'm convinced that's what it is.
How, because you've got your core team, how do you go about finding new judges? Is there something that they do that like draws you in or gets your attention?
No. I work with them. During the course of the year, I also go to like 40 congresses a year, you know, to go perform and judge and do everything else. So I'm always looking, evaluating. I have conversations with them. There's a lot of downtime sometimes when you're sitting at a judge's table waiting for something. So, you know, you have these conversations with them, and I have a pertinent questions I kind of ask. I like to hear what they have to say. Sometimes I just ask questions that I already have the answer, but I ask anyway because I want to hear their take on it. I want to hear what they have to say. I think the characteristic of judge, man, is if you make a call, defend it and be able to debate that and be able to make that decision and convince the people that you're going to have a conversation with that this is how I arrived at this particular, you know, decision. And sound confident and believe in what you also do. If I get a judge that makes a decision and second guesses it, or comes to me and says, you know, I'm not too sure about that. Can I look at the scores again? That's a sign I don't want that guy. I don't want that person. I can't judge with that person. I don't want him on my panel. I have to have decisiveness. It has to be. I'm probably one of the fastest judges you'll see. I mean, I got that and I throw it away. I'm gone. Because what I'm looking for is my first instinct. The first thing I see. I'm not second guessing it. I'm just looking at it, you know, collecting everything, data, and then I can make a decision. And I'm not trying to compare them. I'm not making notes. I'm not doing anything like that. You know, but then again, I've practiced and I've been doing it for a long time. I don't expect everybody to be as quickly, but you're going to have to be efficient, you know, judges. Can't stay there forever. You stay in your head, you'll have about 3 different placements for them.
That's what you said to us when we did the judging certification course with you in America. You said it, like, obviously it's challenging at first, but over time it will get easier.
Over time it gets a lot easier. Of course, people, when they first hear that, they say, what are you talking about? How can you not make notes? How can you keep track? But the whole point is, the way I look at it, you're not trying to keep track. You know, because the competition is judged by, let's say you have 10. So if you're like over here struggling and trying to make a decision, then you're looking at it like you're the only judge that matters. Like you have 9 other people there.
Yeah.
You know, I can give the same score for 9 couples. It's going to come out different because I have other opinions there.
Yeah.
And I'm betting on that. You understand? So this whole comparison thing, I don't do that. I don't do any of that relative placement stuff. I don't. Because you're
mentoring and coaching a lot of dancers all throughout the year. Like, I know when you go overseas, people are asking you for your opinion because they want you to critique their competitive dancing and their routines and these things. What's some of the most common things that you work with individuals, like on their routines or with their dancing? What's the most common thing you deal with?
I mean, I try not to get involved in their fundamental dancing. In other words, a lot of them already have their own instructors. So I don't contradict instructors. I try not to be that way.
Yeah.
The most common thing is choreographically how they present their material. I think that's where they fall short.
Yeah.
You know, how to present it properly. You know, a perfect example is, you know, giving your back to the judges too often.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That kind of crossing your partner too many times. If you're a male and you're crossing your partner too many times, I don't get to see this person here. Turn patterns can be presented forward and not necessarily you doing turn patterns in a circle. So you kind of like continually rotate around them. So it doesn't have, it looks more social and not presentational for the stage.
Right.
Because there's a big difference between how you dance socially and how you dance on stage. It amazes me that I still have people that I talk to that think that's what they're supposed to be doing. You know, competition dancers, like, you know, because they're a great social dancer, they automatically should fare well in this competition. You know, this is the biggest, we still have that dilemma. I'm like, no, that's impossible. You know, competition is gone. It's no longer there. It's not in the club. It's not, you know, it's not an audience participation thing where you kind of dance and the audience picks you because you're the favorite. No, you're going to get critiqued for specific things and you need to deliver those things. And one of them is, you know, how you present your choreography. You know, I mean, of course, does it limit some of the things you can do circular or as you exchange sides when you do turn patterns? Maybe, but I find that when you take competitors and you kind of put them in a corner a bit, that they will be very, very clever. You know, they'll come up, you have to be forced to, so to speak. So, so that's the one thing is choreographically, that's the most common. They don't present it properly or utilize the floor properly.
Yeah. There's something that I'm curious about because the dancing scene, like a lot of scenes around the world, it has trends. So do you see trends in costumes or in certain moves or in tricks every year, like consistently? Do you see someone does it one year and then it gets replicated or enhanced another year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time a top couple or top team or same gender comes out or solo, a tad of it is good, the stylization is good, all that. But, you know, it's not a popular thing I'm saying. You know, people don't want to hear that. You know, when you have a trend and you have people doing it and Congresses teaching it and this whole new, you know, so many people interested in this, so many couples to do it well, right? Then they want to do it. And the thing is that, okay, so then now I have to get judges on my panel that either studied it or knows it really well and got to change the rules, you know, towards the competition. And I just think that's too broad. I think to come to show who's best at salsa, let's stick within that. Or bachata, let's stick within that. Or cha-cha, let's stick within that. Now, if you want to have a rumba or Afro competition, let's have that category and have it in. But I'm going to have judges to deal with that, you know. And I'm already bringing in 20 some odd judges. What I'm going to do, bring in another 10? You know what I mean? That's an expertise that you really have to know that work. You do. You know, Michael Fonts, for instance, Alfredo Valdez from Italy. I mean, I can name a lot of people, you know. I mean, and there are some people that do all of it. It's just some judges that do all of it. It's just, you know, right now, I don't think there's a need to have to add a category, but I do know that if a competitor comes and, you know, half that song is Afro, of course he's going to want to do Afro, right? But then we're not judging Afro. So then what happens? You know, they don't place, they don't win or whatever, and then they're angry. They're wondering why. You know, when the event is called, you know, World Salsa Summit. It's not called the World Salsa Afro Summit. It's not called that, you know. So, you know, it's, but again, you know, it's evolving and the Congresses are evolving, and it's great to have everything because, you know, it's all part of the culture, it's all part of the history. I get all of that, you know, I do. And I love it all. I like dance, period. It doesn't matter where it comes from. I like to learn as much as I can about everything. But now it's been so well defined. It's teachable, really, really teachable. It's got a great technique. The technique is very visible if you practice the technique. So that's a form of training. Right. You understand? So you can get a pure salsero that has really good training and he's going to look fantastic. Right? Yeah. Without having to take the ballet. But I will say one thing. Ballet training, the flexibility, the awareness it gives you about your body will give you longevity. It will keep you dancing longer. You avoid injury. There's a lot of benefits from dancing ballet. It's not just to create a toe.